All right, let's get into this. All right. I did some math. Something, something, math. Not even once. Wait. Ah, I did some checks on all of the different things that can pop up in the altar, including every variant of small flower, every variant of tall flower, every variant of wool, concrete, powdered concrete, terracotta, glass, dyes, and compressible block that decompresses into at least one. And it's only going to be like, oh, $242 redstone torches, 484 chromatic iron, 484 planks of whatever type I'm using for the style, and only 968 driftwood to make every single one of the drawers. Oh, and I need some kind of container that will work for holding tridents, which this, with some upgrades, will work fine. So now I know what all I need, and I know like what things can and can't compress with the Modbox one. And I still get to be annoyed about the snowballs and whatnot, but I am pleasantly surprised that on my checks, they did get glowstone as fully convertible. So 121 logs. So that tells me how much more jungle I need to grow. Oh, okay. That's not going to screw up my index. That gets me a trinket scrap. There we go. No, this is only for, like, the, right, I haven't made a trinket forge yet, so that doesn't help. So... downstairs. Downstairs. Alright. So... don't even currently have the amount of chromatic iron to craft all of them. 423... 433... So even now I have to do more chromatic mining. This can go here. I'll put the burger away later. Acacia chest. Yep, there we go. I knew I had it somewhere, and I... Yep. Modded. Note that also includes, like, including walnut leaves, bamboo leaves, walnut sapling in a shared container with the walnut leaves and stuff like that. Every type of music disc, including the two you can't farm, you have to find. But I need also a lot of compacting, the compression upgrades. 38 as of current. And if they get the snowballs and clay balls added, where I mentioned that the compacting, the ones on your system, I will note that even if we skipped just the things that aren't used for the vault, or it it's still like 4 by 20. If we do like full size drawers for the full array, technically you can compress all of those down from uh 4s to 2 by 2s, so that gets you 2 by 10 at the 2 by 2 scale. But like the entire point is to have it as the like really big, fancy, and like, and it also like includes like the frameless glass and the glazed terracotta, which isn't even used. But, like, that probably means the easiest place to make it would be mostly on the second floor as, like, one solid shelf to one side. Though it can also be done as a very large portion of a floor or a ceiling. I've gotten distracted and I can't remember if there's any good ways down to... No, not that I can see to get down to chromatic iron level from right here, so let's check other directions. This might be the edge of a copper vein here. Like, we don't even have to put it on the second floor. In theory, we can fit it entirely on the floor you currently have. Especially because I did the check on the resource requirements. Magnet is not on. And mechanism tin, but I do need some tin. I did some math on the packing, unpacking using thermal, and nickel, copper, iron, and tin are all used for making the packing, unpacking, and a thermopress. Okay, so that means that I am very near my base. Uh, but like everything using like, okay, some of it like you can compress more or decompress from the way I did different things, but like I said, I just did the math and yep, that's definitely the edge of it, the iron vein. And it's like 148 limited ones, 37 limited twos, and 57 limited fours go into an array that has every single variant that the altar can ask for. Except I think technically it's missing the buildscape color variants for the Spore Blossom. Because they didn't manage to throw those into JEI. But that's completely... Why did the lead end up... Okay. I know why the lead ended up outside. I was too near my base at the time. Leading. But yeah, I'm collecting some thermal so I can work on thermal. I also need to make some power. I don't know why I keep wandering further and further up, knowing that I need to go and get chromatic iron, which is all down. Sulfur. Yeah, I haven't quite gotten to that. Haven't gotten too terribly many mod boxes yet, but I haven't done much in the way of vaulting past 20 quite yet. Bummer. Just a little bit of that one in the mod of it. Alright. On in here. There we go. That's what I really came down here for. Do, 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 do. All right. Yep, this looks semi-familiar to previous sections I was in. It's technically 5 more if I add each variant of Spore Blossom. that spore that the spore blossoms from Buildscape add. And I know that they can appear in some of the biomes, but I don't know if it's just like if it's the default ones can have them, or if it was specifically only the lush variants of like the lush delta and things like that. So that you need to find like the rarer uh, regions unexplored biomes to get the variant ones. Because I'm not getting a difference in particle color like previously. Anywhere around here, and I'm only seeing default ones in this, which means that it's like the lush delta is what I would need. So you might actually have some in your cave, Skitchy. Because I think the caves end up as lush deltas partially. So I may have to wander around your caves for some of the colorful variants of spore blossoms if they're spawning any of the colorful variants. But that's later. Buildscape color variants for spore blossoms, because there's the 5 Buildscape ones which technically also work for the altar, and I was doing calculations for all of the possible things you can throw at the altar. Mushrooms. Dripstone. Okay, I was down here earlier. I don't remember how I exited. But I'm going to assume if I follow my stupid trail here, it'll be at least somewhat helpful. Also, like, this literally might just lead to a nether portal that I then use a nether portal to get out. Because I think I remember that this was me doing chromatic iron the other day. path appears to end here, which means I went up. Knowing how my stupid brain works. Wouldn't have been over that way, so it would have been further and further up this way. More nickel. Water cave. Okay, I might now be lost from even me being lost. So. Okay, so no. Maybe. Does that look like that's natural or something I would have done so that I could get through? That feels like something I would have done to get through. Stop shooting my butt. Stop that. 10. Spider spawner. Yay, other side. I need that for the index. Spider spawner. Spider spawner. Does whatever spider spawner does. I think it spawns spiders. Yeah, that would track. Anyways, one of the things I'm looking forward to with VH4 is using trial chambers as components for resource farms. Also, can't wait for it to be like ominous trial keys get asked for at extremely high variance. Like, once you start doing like level 90, you have to have like the ominous keys, and regular trial keys maybe is like 80 plus in VH4. So like, yeah, you're still using the vanilla overworld and Lush Delta. So does that mean that there are going to be no, not the spore blossoms, not that I'm seeing. Yeah. So I got distracted by Anyways, yeah. I am on a completely different course than the, ooh. Okay, so this is probably the end of a, yep. Ooh. That would have been a quick way to get home. With very little of my stuff. Um, oof. Of course, let us know. Need sulfur for anything that I'm actively doing on it. So yeah, this is probably far enough out that I'm not going to worry too much about mining straight into random walls. There we go. Yep. Let's head out this way. Ugh. Forest dirt. Technically, it's part of the recipe as well. So it's plains dirt. Because they got added as options for the dirt requirement. Because they put in a couple of the modded ones. Because some of the modded biomes just have that. So if you built in those, and then suddenly you can't get into your first vault because it's decided to make it forest dirt for no apparent reason. That's just a color variant, and it's like, I think I finished actually setting up all those. I also need to break down more of my, what you call it? Later on I will add that, but I need... I don't have my spare router right here. If I handcraft a power of some sort... Oh, so much glorp. Because I haven't managed to roll any. And apparently, where we were trying the rock on uh, Amanda's altar, uh, you can't even place it on unless it also has a conduit attached to it. Which is kind of a bummer because I remember back when you could just do that to... Okay. Alright. Anyways, since I need paste anyways, I need paste. Uh, uh, uh. Let's bring these down to the drawers I've already made for them. Someone complains that the order of the keys being alphabetical means they don't match the POG order. And they're like, POG order shows a picture of it. I'm like, technically it's a shapeless recipe. Uh, and then I also showed them that the Omega POG shapeless recipe is in a different order. So arguing that it's not in the POG order, it's like, yes, you're right. Shows Omega POG. Alright. Stack of that. Um, stack of these. And a stack of Larimar. Sure, it's going to be 4 stacks of dielectric paste, but I will end up using that by the end of... Um, Also, needless to say, I'm currently sitting in the voice chat. Also, sync. Um, this. These. Glass. So I need some driftwood. Some Larian silk. there's a recipe that lets you turn these. Okay, cool. Which, arguably, yeah, that absolutely makes sense. You can just turn them. So, some Larry. Like I said, I'm going to manage to annoy myself because I'm going to manage to lose track of where I put these. The crafting table. Need to grab more silk out if I want to do one higher. More silk. One sec. New battery time again. The problem is, like, the batteries I also am cycling on these chargers are like, I've gotten them at different points over the years, so it's like, I can't say which ones have a decent amount of their capacity left, even. Ah, there we go. Something accidentally builds loss in my inventory. Essence? Make a starter. Make a basic. Uh, Steel. Steel. Which, like, yeah, I just need more steel long term, anyways, too. But I also have to play a little bit on the safe side. Distributor. Which I need the chest from upstairs, and then these. That's all upstairs. This. So I need some vault diamonds, and I think I need some. Alright. This can run 3 of my machines at current. Redstone quartz. Gold nuggets, was it? No. This needs to start with a gold ingot. And this one starts with gold ingot. So let's compress some. Alright. So we're going to make ourselves. Okay, both of those want them in block form, so let's put the redstone back. Let's grab the redstone block out. And then we can go. I mean, what doesn't help is the fact I currently have like 4 stacks of dielectric paste. Then we make it into an. Okay, that's all picked up, so I can put those away. Next. One set of these. black, white, orange. Do I currently have a die sitting around in any of these? Yes. We'll use that to make a camo. Made camo. What's the range on this right now? 8. And I could make some range ups, but it's going to be expensive if I do that, so let's figure out where I could put a router. We actually want machines down here, and I'll just put a solar panel out there. Yeah, I handcrafted this one. I think we're going to go with... All right. That should, in theory, be producing more power than this would use per tick. Assuming that these are both running off of redstone ticks, which is 1/10. Let's grab the other one. All right, there we go. I now have an operational power back here, or operational powered machines back here. Now, let's see. This is 16 times, so 968 divide by 16. Calculator, don't fail me out. Just under a stack of that. Okay, so I definitely have enough driftwood. So, next thing I need to do is jungle trees. So that I get enough jungle. And then I've got the redstone. I just need to make it into torches. Sticks. That dirt is dirt. Router is router. Uh, what else? What else? What else? More stick stacks. There we go. Yeah, and that'll be more than enough. That's good. That's good. All right. Blue bioshroom. This is one of the subsets because coconut leaves can go onto it. Well, that might explain why that happens sometimes. If it is a like a VPM or a routing thing that refreshes. Uh, you wanted the nether brass lanterns among other things, the green ones. So let's stick some nickel through this. Like, yes, that's going to be a timer for a bit, but I mean, worst case scenario, I guess I could go and waste time doing the main thing the mod is supposed to do. I don't know, like vaults. Cypress, pine. Okay, so these aren't... I don't have any of those that I'm seeing. Okay. At some point, I might actually have to do something with the chess monster. But for now... Also, I need to convert these by making one of the chisels eventually. But, like... Cobblestone... Because I definitely have cobblestone downstairs. But yeah, for some of the storage stuff, like, technically I threw a full image of all of the... chests and different things as like the full design, and that notes that like the small flowers end up as just like two by two arrays, and like the tulips end up as one 2x2 array. The tall flowers end up as one 2x2 array. Then the spore blossom and the wither rose get separate ones. The only oddball thing is because tridents have NBT data, they ended up with like a spruce barrel or whatever, or other thing like that. Or it could be just a regular sophisticated chest or anything like that. Because those guaranteed... those would guarantee... There we go. Cool. Those guarantee the correct... the ability to store the mixed NBT is by just like running a locked barrel with a single trident in it. At that point, only tridents can get put in it, but more tridents can get put in it. Almost like it's a limited barrel. And that's how you can integrate mixed data set. Uh, Yep, there we go. All right. Yay. Yeah, and as far as I can tell, I didn't. Anyways, modded. Technically vanilla. But this and Pig Step actually get a special. And we'll stick sticks there. Now I have to figure out where in the world I'm going to find some plains dirt eventually, too. Because, you know, let's build the full array of everything that I can shove into the altar just so that I can go, hey, if it's in the altar, it's not voided or whatever. Right. I didn't start planting the jungle trees, I just went and raided a jungle, so I should go do that again. It was... Yep. Time to go. Chop down some jungle trees. Okay. Anyways, I have no clue whether or not anyone actually took that note for Dowski so that it will get saved. Okay. These are also in the leaf index. Come on, let me stand up. I'm stuck in flight mode. Bonk. Alright. Just finished catching up on the very end of the stream from earlier. I headed to bed and took a little bit of a nap just before like his last vault when he was figuring out his creeper power situation. Which means I get to go back to my YouTube backlog from when I was doing some audiobooks. And technically I'm going to jump to some more audiobooks, but they're less of a, hey, I need to do this soon, because my previous one was a long book that the rest of my group finally got finished on. So I went from, hey, I'm not allowed to listen through my audiobook because whenever I do that, I end up so far ahead of the group that I can't have any meaningful discussion about the plot with them because I'm way ahead and might have spoilers. Although I'm fairly good about not doing spoilers, but it also means that I don't get to actually like discuss any of the fun things. And technically some of the other things I have are also things they're going to listen to that they might be behind again. And noting this isn't like, oh, we've got any kind of formal thing, but like, it's like, hey, we hang out, we do our D&D, and every so often somebody gets caught on a new series, and then it's like, okay, well, I'll listen to that one. Of course, I also take, like, their recommendations. Oh, I listened to this off of credit, and I wholeheartedly say no, don't bother listening to it. Because it's, like, bad. It's like, oh, yeah, it's this fun adventure one, except, like, if you actually break it down, it's adventure and smut. But you don't know that unless you know what in the world Fourth Wing is, and it's like you get differing levels of who's comfortable with that versus other ones, and it's like, yeah. But it's like, eh. Oh, you've got dragon riders, and you've got descriptions of dragon riders and dragons. Being intimate, even if it's not necessarily as explicit as the fandom probably ends up. But, you know, that's actually, what's the term? Okay, those ones haven't been added to the altar. Just the blossom trees. So I can continue going on from those. But wanted some blossom saplings. I've got some yellow ones already. But I need the fiery, the pink. Uh, let's see. Serene, sweet, da 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 da. Anyways. There doesn't need to be two tall ones right here. We can make this one tall one. All right. Ooh, melons. Okay, standard dirt. The key is to try and chop down without making it, like, really obvious that it's been... Barley fields. Dang it. That one's almost clear. Hi, chicken. Right. Um, Lagos. Got my Lagos. My Lagos. And the leaves will finish decaying at some point, and I don't necessarily need them to fully decay. I needed less than that for total number of logs, so that's good. What in the world are... Paul. Okay. Purple. That also reminds me, I should make myself a carryable warp stone. Orange one. I don't necessarily need the blossom logs, but you know. I've already collected a little bit of the yellow. Although I think maybe I should take... I don't know if I took any leaves. I think I did. But I only need one to start. Hi, cat. Hi, cat. Up. Unfortunately, they haven't managed to add these to the altar yet. Some of the region's unexplored leaves. Okay, then I don't have any more trees near me. Bonk. Some logs. Okay, and I have the rest of the jungle logs there. I'll have to repair wings. A couple more flights. Axe is fine. Pickaxe needs some thrown at it. So those are downstairs already again. Gems have been moved. Still need to make the slime farm. I did mention that I need to do that. Some preemptive gear pieces. Block chance is going to be more useful to me than the ability power. even if I lose just a little bit of armor on base. But yeah, as long as the compression is going to cost like 18 vault diamonds, they can let more of the old drawer recipes stand because it's expensive to make the upgrade, so it's not exactly going to be a cheaper option than I did the math. 8 copper ingots, 6 nickel ingots, 11 iron, 1 tin, 1 plank of any type, 20 larimar, 3 redstone blocks, 5 chromatic steel, and 1 vault diamond makes a unpacking dyed multi-servo press. And like that's all you would need to be able to go, hey, here's the clay and the compact clay blocks in this thing, and it can pull out the clay blocks and decompress them into the clay balls into a one size. And when that's what you end up with, it's like, can you tell me why in the world we thought it needed? Okay, nobody actually thought it needed that. It's just got that limiter because it's not built in on what you call it, on sophisticated storage as additional recipes put in by Pepperfly, unlike the what is it? Glowstone dust doesn't have a regular decrafting recipe, but it does now have a decrafting compatibility. They actually did add a few more, and I know that they managed to add the glowstone. So, like, yay! I did the check. They did. I need 484 planks. That's more than enough. Cool. All right. 484. So this and this put away. That's exactly the amount of driftwood I'll need. What is it? 5. For Larry makes the blank. No. 2 Larry. I don't need 4. 2 and some steel. This is going to be my expensive one to start. Because this needs to start doing the job itself eventually. And it gets to be one of the earliest ones I actually will make compressing. Compress. 1 blank. Gotta grab the steel. Yeah, like the steel's not even the prohibitive part of it. Steel's exactly on par. Okay, the anvils instead of Larimar is a bit weird, but yeah, it does not need to be bone diamonds. And I still wish they'll get around to getting this fixed. This one, it's kind of fine that it has the vault diamonds because of how powerful it is in it, but if you've watched it all, this is always only 5 slots. It's not a full container or anything like that. It's always these 5 slots and nothing else. Then, well, at least for this first one. Second one is the next 5, then non. But each one only lets you compress 1. And even a netherite sophisticated container maxes out at 5. So, and at that point, you've spent 90 vault diamonds to compress 5 things. One more time than you could if you put them into regular drawers rather than the barrel. 5. There we go. Then we need these. $57. $148. Okay. Which means I actually have 5 spare at the moment because of the limited 4 barrels. But this is 100% of what I need for ah these. And mossy cobble, smooth stone, then we've got let's go with the 2 variants of grass. No, not grass, dirt. And then compression dirt. Red sand is one of the ones I categorized, even if it's unlikely that I'm going to be collecting huge amounts of it. But it is in the vault, so there's always a chance. Deep slate. Cobblestone. Soul soil, soul sand, obsidian. I have to decide. Is moss a farmable or is moss a block? I'm actually a little bit annoyed. Turns out Gilded Blackstone is not listed anywhere in the altar requirements anymore. I miss when it was, but like, I understand why not. It's extremely hard to farm, and they only put in one mechanism recipe as a way of producing it directly. So it's one of those ones you have to go into the wild to go and find, or you have to constantly be writing it from the vault. But but it's not listed as part of the altar. I know you can also turn it in sometimes for bounties, so that might be what it's for. Anyways, how's that for timing? 11 seconds and whoop. Ooh. No, wait, they changed all those. That's actually normal for the cost now. Let's just get another double cheeseburger for my storage. Not that I need more, but you know. That's why I put the stupid thing. I couldn't find it earlier. It was like, where in the world is it? So I crafted a new one at the very end of it, and it's like, okay. Turns out it's right there. All right. These go in a separate one later. Um, what? Oh, look, I just lagged out. Howdy, howdy. That was apparently entire network there. Reconnection successful. No, I need one more point for Cleve, Weisenheimer. That's why I haven't used those points on Vein Miner yet. But anyways, how you doing? But yeah, lost a couple. Lost a couple. Lost a couple. There we go. But they don't have to be physically connected. You can use the little link pads, which, hey, look, any stone, any plank, one redstone repeater, and one ender pearl makes one link, which, like, okay, yeah, the controller itself that you have to link them to currently costs a Pog, an Echo, and 9 Vault Diamonds, and 6 Steel. But it's a relatively one-time craft. It comes out of the mod boxes and all that. But you can do, like, oh, if I stuck a single link here, this entire array all the way around here will be connected. And if I got cheeky and did something like stuck a sophisticated shulker box here, I could have an extra, like, mini but uh colossal chest effectively on the system. And if you wanted to make sure that it doesn't cause any problems, you can lock the sophisticated barrels, shulkers, or anything else like that as well, and it will in fact limit them to what's already in them. So you can even sneakily do things like, here's this, and then there's a whole lot of extra room in there. But yeah, like, I should be. Yeah, OBS still has me running. I'm at 2 hours and 6 minutes of stream. So, like, I should still be up. Yeah, and that was like my entire network went down, given the fact that it took both the desktop, which is Ethernet, and the laptop, which is streaming over Wi-Fi. Like, this isn't exactly where I want it by the end of it, but I'll duct tape it later. How much can it hold? Well, the correct answer is, as of this, 512 of these compressed blocks. For me to add voiding to it, I need to upgrade it at least 2 more tiers, which is going to vastly improve the amount of iron nuggets it can hold. Anyways. Dirt. That one's not even one I'm using. Grass blocks, which actually don't appear anywhere in it. But I needed a fourth thing that to go with rooted dirt and mycelium and all that. And like, okay, yeah, I could have done coarse dirt too, but coarse dirt is also not used, and potentially you're going to end up with more grass than coarse dirt. Like, it's not part of the altar. Neither is grass, but like I said. Anyways, hi man. Okay. See, this is why I'm going to end up with more grass blocks. Useless Enderman teleporting into my base. Bringing crap with them. These I'll need. I really do hope that they get that in one of the hotfixes. Because the argument, oh, the old drawers were too powerful, so it's okay for them to nerf things like that. And like, okay, they don't need to put in uncrafting for blue ice, packed ice to regular ice. Also, I checked, and apparently blue ice and packed ice are no longer in it. Only standard ice. Apparently. So. Regular dirt. That's what I'm after. And then the compressed dirt. Don't need these. Alright. But yeah. Whenever the stream kind of crashes, it loses the correct timing. So yes, it's going to say like only 4 minutes of the same stream or things like that. But yeah, right now the 2 points aren't for Vein Miner, they're for to add to a third so that I can add Cleave to my lucky hits in preparation of getting what you call it. Okay. 1 sec. Yes, actually lock those in, please. Thank you. You too. There's like no reason for you not to be locked in. There we go. Smooth stone. No, I've got smooth stone somewhere, don't I? I could have sworn I smelted at least a little bit of it already. No? Okay. Anyways, my server mates, in theory, can go and, like, look at exactly what I'm working, or I worked up, last night that's, yeah, here's like everything the altar can ask for as a recipe, and it turns out like I fit all of it relatively well into 164 chunk, and that notes that I did like every color variation of wool as a separate full size limited barrel, and like every concrete powder, every terracotta, including the uncolored terracotta, every glass, including regular glass, not tinted glass, because it doesn't accept tinted glass, sand, and red sand, gravel, red sand coming out of, what she calls it, what I put in that one? Out of the raw vaults, in some of the rooms. What are they? Some of the resource farm rooms, I think, is what it actually displays as, is a farm. When you run through it, down in the cave, you can get red sand as a subset. Regular sand. Red sand. This is for the, because I was too lazy to do like a 2, I was just like, I'm just going to put the forest dirt and the plains dirt, now that they're accepted by the altar as their own little ones at the end of it, because I wasn't going to worry about designing it so it looked nice. Let's see. For those ones. And like technically I can make I can place extra ones of these in as well. I've just only crafted the required amount for the default pool. Right. Moss. Quick opinion. Is moss a farmable crop or a block? Then it gets to exist next to mossy cobble here because it's part of the component recipe for mossy cobble from cobblestone, which is on the other side of it. Okay. And I also need to rip out like one chunk this way, one chunk that way, and then that adjoining diagonal eventually. But at the same time, let's call that good for now on the storage, and I'll get more storage done later when I come and take all of this out of here. I'm going to take that upstairs. I will note that it's like not quite 360 different items. And that notes that I did have a few extra things like the amethyst block, which is only useful for separating out using an unpacking die into the amethyst shards. And I had the what you call it? Melon slices were on there because you make them into melons. Though, to make them into melons using one of these, you have to use the 20 vault diamond one that's the chain craft. So it costs you a full stack of Larimar and 20 vault diamonds just to make melons whole. And that's again one of the ones that I'm going to go like, hey, that might need fixed. And like, it's because it's not a reversible recipe. But it's also like, I put in all the compacting glowberry sacks, potato crates, sugar isn't actually in the vault stuff or anything like that. But like, bundles of bamboo, compressed the rotten flesh because it can compress, gunpowder can, glowstone of course can, and actually they managed to add that in because it was not there last season. As far as I remember having to go, okay, how do I get my glowstone dust out of my glows? Network? Network. Network, don't die on me. Don't die on me now. Don't die on me now. Eh? Like, okay, I guess there are days where maybe I should be playing less. I have no clue if anyone hears me right now. But if keeps doing this, I might just call that fairly good today, noting that I did get a decent amount of start on that storage. No vaults yet today, but yay! But yeah, the crash is more than just my more than just the OBS or that. It's like because it's like affecting the entire internet here. It's not anything to do with my computer at that point. It's yeah. Oh, one of the other ones was Nemesis Block. Wet Sponge was one of the ones that's included but not required. Heck. But yeah, it also is like one of the things that I don't have that I had during my experiment and setup. 38 total compression upgrades. Yeah, which is like mod boxes are a ton of gilded. Oof. I think I bothered to gather the first components of. I don't think I've wandered out to the outer islands yet. Because I've only gotten the wings recently. Who am I kidding? Why am I asking? I can check that. Nothing's going to blow me up immediately. Nope. And I don't have a remote getaway. So. Bonk. I can't help with that. Well, I could. But. Okay, yeah, that would be better than the current one I have crafted. Payment for helping out with some power system the other day for Amanda. But I can't use that until I get my own Pog and Echo for the interface. Oh, right. I need to make sure that I'm actually getting sleep during the nights, otherwise my machines are going to wear out the power. So I should double check. Are these still in operational state? Okay. Yes, they are in operational, and they're charging back up now that it's daytime. That's good. In theory, I should actually... Once the chromatic iron's done... I should redirect a decent amount of that down as powder instead of... Okay, I need to go through those. Extra shulker is extra shulker. Yes, I know there's an ability suppressor nearby, so I'm not vein mining. It's right over here, next to the thing that keeps Enderman in my basement. Yay. But yeah, I should redirect some of this down. Actually, I have some gold and iron up here, don't I? Yes. Oh, yes I do. Okay. That'll be a decent amount to run through it. Noting that the gold and the copper share and spill a little bit of each other into it, but nickel, I think nickel and iron splash each other. Also, network, no, no, no. Ah. And like I'm on a fiber line. And it hasn't been doing this previously, which means something is up with the network today. Uh, let's hope it's like they're trying to do some kind of maintenance and that's why they keep blipping it out. But anyways, I should be back connected. You should be hearing me now. I probably am going to wrap once I stick these into my smelter down there and tell it to stop sticking things. Noting that, like, only the chromatic iron guarantees a true 100% chance of doubling. Get more cycles of that, and then it's on to these. Okay, I've already grabbed the silver out. But yeah, it's too unstable for me to safely do a vault. And that's not a client lag where it's like, oh yeah, you've just traveled too far. And I'm stealing more bread. Yay! Delooter. Congratulations. Even if the delooter is not in fact actually set up. Level 0 raw vault. Yeah, that's not unreasonable. Oh, as an FYI, they've added compacting to Vault Cobblestone. Also, if you were copying my array, this is actually where Aggies go. I think. No, this is slightly off exactly my array. Because you put in that. So Aggies normally were there. The order of the burgers is semi-arbitrary, so that's fine. It doesn't ask for bells anymore. Not that I saw, at least. Yeah. It's no longer in the things you have to throw at the altar. Which is, like, it's buyable. It's not unreasonable for it to be part of the recipe. But apparently they decided it's too much still. So bells are no longer part of the altar. Anyways, like I said, I'm in here stealing your villagers' bread. Not the bread they're actively eating, just the loose ones. Ooh, let's check. What? Let's see. A bell. No, you did look at bell. Let's see. Brain. What was I about to? I got distracted. I got distracted by it having typed bell. Mud boxes. All the mud boxes are not in there. So I'm going to guess all the mod boxes have already been cracked, resulting in whatever loose modded items are like here. Yeah, probably no, it's nighttime. I'm not making any power. That's just so the creeper doesn't immediately blow up all my stuff. I was standing in some vines, so my dash didn't work. And because of the suppressor nearby, I can't throw a javelin. But mainly, I'm just going to... If I'm going to keep crashing out, I'm going to just kind of stand in my base a little bit. This will be about the closest I'm going to get to actually full-on AFKing. Maybe I'll sort through some of my stuff, like... Because some of it, like I mentioned, I need... From modded, I need... the different leaf ones, just because I was like, let's include everything. And there's 6 variants of the blossoms that all can contribute leaves. The walnuts trees can provide their leaves. The coconut can provide their leaves. Twisted. What happens when you throw a sapling through and twisted leaves can work. Technically, Valora leaves can work, but there's no crafting recipe or way I know of to get the Valora leaves, so it got actually left out of it just because it's not accessible, as far as I know, to ever get it. But at that point, it just is like, oh, if they make a Valora sapling, which because it only appears in the Architect Vault or whatever. These aren't actually grabbable by the player right now. As far as I know, there's not a Alara sapling to grow the tree. Which potentially that transition pine is probably also just like one of the sapling types. Dead pine sapling. Oh yeah, I remember watching him some. It's probably part of the tall pines. But yeah, like I'll need all those saplings. I need lily pads, I need vines. Smooth stone, I knew I had it somewhere. That's a color array, that's a... Regular glass gets to go with the rest of glass. quartz block gets to go with the minerals. Regular terracotta goes with the other terracotta, which actually makes it a 17 instead of a 16. What else? I really should give this guy his little hands, and then he can help me out. But I really should just move my storage to the attic. Because this is where you shove random boxes, right? Box, box, hand, hand, box, box. Box, box, hand, hand, box, box, or whatever. Maybe on the other side. And you just have, like, boxes. Smooth stone, smooth stone. Sticking smooth stone. Oh! Anyone got a plain dirt? I've got a forest dirt here. Somewhere. Dirt. But I don't have plain dirt yet. And I know how to make the forest dirt. But, like, I mainly just need it so that I can stick, I already put the forest dirt downstairs, didn't I? But it's mainly just because it lets me put it in the big ol' wall of things that, the altar can ask for and can accept. Yay! Yeah. Last season, before they added it to the ones you could use for this, I intentionally mossed any I got. Because you could moss it. We're going to put plain dirt here. We're going to put forest dirt there. And, like, I'm surprised I didn't have a forest dirt just kind of sitting around there, because I definitely have forest dirt available, because fairly certain it was forest mud, which you can't actually turn in. But I'm sure that there was some forest dirt in here too. No? I'll get some forest dirt. If it's not in here, it's like one biome over. Well, two biomes over. But, I have not yet made a wardrobe. I should do that. I've got the... Actually, it shouldn't be too hard for me, because of the amount of, I've still got the sticks and the, whatchamacallit, from making the raid farm. Cow. I swear. There was forest dirt somewhere around here. Like, I guess I shouldn't complain about the fact that there isn't the slightly annoying modded material that causes headaches around, but at the same time. I've got some as well as some, like, if you really need to, you can also raid, like, one armor stand, or... Okay, you can raid a few armor stands easily enough from, the, raid farm. See? This is what I mean. Here's forest dirt. Oh, there's forest grass. If I mine it without silk touch, I'll end up with forest dirt. Yoink. Then I can get my happy little butt out of here, because the zombies following me are a great threat, but because as long as my base is not loaded, it is not processing the copper and tin and other things like that that I will need for some things later. Go away, leader zombie. Because of his hit point not being maxed out there. That was a leader baby zombie. Downstairs. Let's get this put away. Well, the lazy thing, if you're doing the, oh, I need to go silk touch a puzzle, and in theory, a mycelium, but that requires me finding, wherever the heck Mushroom Island is at some point. Okay, maybe not. I can also use the, what you call it? What is it? You use a little bit of slag, which is just... You cook some, gravel, and then some mulch, or whatever it is from the, thermal composter. No, yeah, the thermal composter. Then you combine a mushroom and some dirt, and that gets you it, so it can be crafted. Alright. What was his range? Will he work relatively alright down there for up here? Let's hope so. Let's start. With the modded chest. So I won't be none too broken up about it if it doesn't work. Oh, I've got the orange blossom tree as well. Good to know. By tags. That puts those blossoms all together. Alright, that's just enough. Cool. Now, and don't block anything. And then we can check if that worked. Or if I need to figure out a better place to stick our little guy. Yay! Thanks for searching my attic, sir. We want to continue to stick boxes in my attic. My bag is allowed to pick up things. It is perfectly acceptable for it to do so. There is nothing wrong with a bag picking up things. It is allowed to carry things. Right, I still have that as a rejected pickup. Alright. Let's go. And that notes that technically I can increase the amount of nonsense the our little guy down there can access and manipulate fairly easily. Because I could stick just some regular barrels onto the front of those, and it's not even like a really weird storage at that point. I know I could stick a fridge in front of them Everyone has extra fridges in their attic, right? Right? Look, we've got a fridge in our living room, which the fridge part itself doesn't really work. So it's for drinks. The freezer part actually stays like frozen, so we've stuck like some corned beefs in there because my parents buy those in bulk from time to time because they like corned beef. All right, sir. Can you hold on to? No. What do you mean? What do you mean you can't just let me shift click everything in? I wish for him to let me have a greater disregard for like how storage should be. Also, I should use him to grab the other chests. Yep, there we go. More chest. Any semblance of organization is an illusion. It's all nonsense. But yeah, with my network dying occasionally, okay, good. That was just fault lag. That was not me crashing out again. Oh, I mean, my client crashing because of network issues. The correct answer is I'm constantly crashing. Yep. Wait a minute. Okay, sure. Let's go in there. All right. Chromatic iron gets to go bare. Okay. Um. I did break the flesh next to the chest, so fortunately it's one of the things I definitely have more than enough of. I should jerk this. Also, apparently ACG says that it can't place it on there until we put on the Ultra Automation Conduit, which we haven't even unlocked yet, so right now it just needs to throw rocks at you whenever you cycle power. And then later on, the activator should work fine. It's rainy, it's rainy, it's rainy. Among other things I need to make, I need to set up a router to start handling the wheat. Oh, I can't put them in using the chest mount, so I can only pull things in. I get to be a bit more disappointed. Like, okay, yes, it is supposed to encourage us to go and use a different one. You know, like any of the refined storage we have available or things like that, but I can't have it put things in the attic, only grab it from it. Uh, right. One of the things I can still do while potentially lagging out is jewel selection. Something, something. They have located the issue that's causing the excessive hammering jewels. So get your hammering jewels now. It's in the upcoming hotfix in theory. A 7.9 mining speed. 9% trap disarm. Miscellaneous hammer size. Reduce durability. I think the 6 mining speed is more long-term relevant. Even though, like, almost any jewel you get at this level is going to be, like, you don't use on anything after level 50. Right. Don't crouch while trying to select it. We'll just pick one for you. In theory, it's using the same rule of thumb the identification stand uses, but I make no guarantee of that. IQ, IR. IR be talking like a pirate. Yeah. No vaults today, sadly. Do I have enough room for all of this? No. We'll do the smart thing, right? Should we do the smart thing? We take a single redstone. Then we take 6 and I'll chop those down at some point. 2 and we'll annoy ourselves again with this. Oh, it's the other way around. It's more Larry and less chromatic iron. I've been looking for you, Larry. Yeah, I've been here the whole time. And then we're going to do the trick that makes it lazy. Using a copper upgrade immediately upgrades it into a copper sophisticated, and you don't even have to make it a base sophisticated first. This will save you 1 torch and 4 sticks, or in this case, 5 sticks and a redstone. Because that is the most expensive recipe in this entire mod pack, right? So horrendous. How are you ever going to afford it? Number. In theory, I should also upgrade this one, but I'm fairly certain I'll probably just like wrap in the next 5 minutes, even if my internet doesn't go down again, because I have very little left to do that wouldn't be like a vault because of the amount of brain I already used today. And by very little, I mean I am now going to go downstairs and take my stone cutter, and we're going to cut some bolt stone. Because, wonder of wonders, A stone cutter can convert vault stone directly into polished vault stone. So you don't even have to cook cobbled vault stone into it. You can just kind of cut the smooth, which if you're running any kind of silk touch, you're already going to have. Do I put the vault stones just... No, I need at least one of them to be a 4. So we'll put them there. Polished silk cobble. And then I need to make 2 extra 1x barrels at some point. Lucky stick is lucky stick. Eh, eh, eh. Lucky stick. All right, there we go. I now have cobblestone, and it's like stored vault stone and polished vault stone. And I only have to figure out where in the world I put my jungle plates. You put them in your shulker monster. I've stuck the redstone torches downstairs, didn't I? Yep. They're going to be, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4. By 4, I mean 2. And we remake some things. I think one of the next steps I actually need to do, if I'm going to do my color wall, is I need to go and excessively dye some sheep And then I need to make one of the spinny things, and I'm going to spin the dies out of the sheep's wool. Tin Constantan, which I've already accounted for because Constantan is made nickel and copper. And then a compass is a compass. Anyways, let's check what the other trinket is. Assuming, yeah, that's still locked. Yay! Actually, I should just start wearing that. Not because it's overly helpful to have, but yeah. It doesn't get used much otherwise. As the, right, let's polish more stone. That's what I had come here to do. Was to excessively polished. Or polish. I have no clue what this switch is supposed to do. Given the fact that I apparently just have to click anyways. Yay! That's sorted. Yeah, because as soon as I get cleave, I'm then exactly 2 points away from starting my life leech off lucky hits. Which means my build stops being quite as fragile as it is. Is this an additional 6 and 12? So is that 4, 8, and then when you get the greater, you end up with 14 and then 20 total extra damage? Because, like, before I was spending 4 points across all the levels on just uh, just 12 points. So, like, I will take an additional an additional 8 free points of damage for the same number of skill points by the end of the end of everything. I don't think I have. I don't tend to use blazing. Because once I start like running any place that it matters to have blazing, it's like, okay, I have to keep turning and stopping and going after a mob. But I'll do like Arcana. Sorcery into Arcana. Arcana being a good, this keeps my mana regenning for like the amount I dash around. Because it's like dash, 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 smack some things, smack some things. Go back to dashing. And as long as I'm like continuing my mad run through the entire vault, I'm usually keeping my mana up for doing the jump to different points of interest. All right. Eat the bread. And it's about 2 hours earlier than restart, but I'll go ahead and say that I'll wrap today just because the network is too unstable for me to be running vaults, and I don't feel like digging out the room downstairs at exactly this moment. I don't feel like putting up more drawers at exactly this moment. And like the only other thing I can do is like stand around and let my furnace operate. Of course, that's rotated at the moment. It's fine. Or double check what stupid quests I've actually done. Ooh, cool. I've got 4 vault diamonds stored there that I can go and do later. They still don't have a reward for this, so I do it, but I don't actually ever turn it in. Need to make a skill altar at some point. Wardrobe. Warden's Rock is fairly useless for us because all it does is it gives us the same insurance we already have. Trinket Fort is something we need. The Revival Spirit Extractor is more for curiosity's sake for us. We can go and look and go, hey, how much would we actually have done for like the cost? What is this even locked behind? It's locked behind something. Either locked behind the learning to modify the crystals because it's adding a modifier inside the vault to the vault from the temporal relics. Additional experience. Let's go put my burgers away. Because I've already made a drawer for them. Yay. I'm not doing anything with it right now, but... Alright. Yeah, I'm going to need an extra container at some point. And like, I don't actually need that much as the powder, so I'm going to probably store at least some of that as powder, but some of it I will finish smelting. But I need to decide how much I want to store as the powder, because that allows me to do the uh, modded alloy as powder mixes. You know, like mix the copper and the nickel to make the constantan just by hand or whatever. And then you stick it through the redstone furnace to cook it that way, rather than having to make the induction smelter, which I'll definitely want to make one of those eventually. Because, one, it lets you melt things like that gold helmet I put upstairs into, I think, tools give you exactly one, and non-tools can give you like 2 to 3 when you cook them, which some kind of audio shift there. Maybe that was something outside, but it was like, okay, I'm going to hop on off. Catch you all next time. Bye. Yeah, that's the plan. Hopefully tomorrow the network's going to be a bit more stable.